Amadou Samba revealed some of his business dealings with the former president. Mudu Bajan was listening and he tells us more.
Wednesday's session began with interventions by Jane Commission members and legal counsel Mary Samba on a recent order which concerns her client, Gambian businessman Amadou Samba. Commissioners, including Ami Bensouda, then questioned the Gambian business mogul on issues concerning his business activities.
Mr. Samba, I believe you said you're a businessman.
I'm a businessman.
How long have you known the ex-president Yahya Jammeh?
Since '94.
How did you come to know him?
I came to know him through Per Kujabi, a Senegalese architect.
Samba also shed light on his business dealings, particularly those involving former President Yahya Jammeh.
Instructions were given from the Ministry of Finance on the directives of the President for the sum of 700,000 to be paid to Gamvej Oil Limited. And it was paid from the MDRI HIPC account. And this is what is referred to as the HIPIC fund. So I would like you to explain.
This whole thing about the president's involvement in Gamvej, I was not part of the negotiation. I didn't know anything about it until after the fact. It was, I think, Mohamed Bazi and Pa Bojang and the president then negotiated for the sale of Gamvej.
Having been a 50% shareholder of Gamvej, Amadou Samba was also asked to update the commission regarding the assets of the company in question. Aside from this, the witness was also questioned on his involvement with Gam Petroleum and Euro-African Group. Meanwhile, Mr. Samba, who will reappear before the Commission of Inquiry, is demanded to furnish the Commission with documents such as the title deed of the land house in Gamvej and other business documents. Modu Bayan reporting for GRTS News.
And you can watch highlights of today's sittings tonight after this newscast and later at 10:30 p.m. And Her Excellency the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Aja Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang, has launched the United Nations Fund for Population Affairs 2017 State of the World Report, and Madam Tambajang registered government's appreciation to the UN system in the Gambia for their support and continuous commitment to the development needs and aspirations of the government and the people of the Gambia. Saini Marina tells us more.
At a staggering 9 billion people, the world's population continues to grow and increase annually. That is not merely a cause for concern, but a signal for concerted efforts to ensure equality and satisfaction of the population need. Launching the 2017 UNFPA World Population Report in the Gambia, Vice President Madam Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang described the report as significant towards building a sustainable future.
In my humble mind, the world is apart because the world is walking lopsidedness. Lopsided in terms of walking on one foot by leaving and marginalizing more than half of the population of the society globally, regionally, and also Gambia is not an exception, which is men are advancing, young boys are advancing, but the really people who matter, who are the assets of any nation, women and girls, are yet to really fill the gap.
At the head of UN systems in the Gambia, Madam Ade say all or most of these inequalities are interconnected and the blow of impacts adversely affect women and girls.
We're being confronted with an increasing unequal world. This inequality could be in the economy, on the political front, power imbalance, down to unequal rights and opportunities. It is important to note that all and most of these inequalities are interconnected, and the brunt of the impact affects women and girls.
UNFPA Gambia Chief Mr. Kule said there are many dimensions of inequality highlighted in the 2017 report.
This report highlights extreme inequality that has been shown to reduce economic growth globally. It does not allow a country to make use of people's capacities, and the report will vividly argue that inequalities lead to concentration of economic and political power in specific demographic and can ultimately result in economic and political instability.
Sekou Traoré is the executive director of the National Population Secretariat, a government agency charged with population issues.
The launch aims at widening our horizon on global demographic scenarios and issues affecting our livelihood. The launch is one of our major advocacy events that call for concerted efforts by all stakeholders in the area of population age, gender, to address issues affecting our well-being.
Meanwhile, the launching also featured a panel discussion on the day's theme, World Apart, Reproductive Health and Rights in an Age of Inequality. The interactive platform, bringing diverse issues to forefront, attract various speakers including Dr. Mamadi Cham, Director of Health Service, National Youth Council Lamin Dabo, Miss Elizabeth Gomez, and Miss Aji Aissatou Sao of Think Young Women, whose organization is one of many seeking to realize social equality that particularly engage women and girls. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Seni MK Maren.
Meanwhile, the United Nations system in the Gambia Tuesday evening celebrated the 72nd year since the formation of the world body, and the reception was graced by the Vice President and the Minister of Women's Affairs Aja Fatumata Jallow Tambajang, Minister of Foreign Affairs Usainu Dabo, and other government officials. Let's join Seni Maren again in this report.
"72 years ago, precisely in 1945, the UN Charter came into force, ushering in a new era of hope for global solidarity, peace and tranquility following two devastating world wars. UN Day, according to officials, is meant to pause and reflect, highlight and celebrate the work and achievements of the United Nations and its family of specialized agencies across the world. This reception brought together foreign diplomats accredited to the Gambia, UN officials, cabinet ministers and senior government officials. The local theme for this year's celebration is Building Peaceful and Inclusive Societies for Sustainable Development in the Gambia. Our roles and responsibilities highlights collective commitment. This comes as the UN country team moved to support government effort towards sustainable peace and building an inclusive society in New Gambia in line with Sustainable Development Goals system. Madam Ade, the UN resident representative in the Gambia, read a message on behalf of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and acknowledged the efforts of the coalition government of President Adama Barrow for building a strong democratic nation.
Let me reaffirm that the United Nations system in the Gambia remains a committed and trusted partner of the government and the people of the Gambia to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal and to ensure that no one is left behind. I want to take this opportunity to also thank our various partners that are working closely with us to support the Gambia. I also want to thank the government of President Adama Barrow and the people of the Gambia for the continued support and commitment to the United Nations.
Foreign Affairs Minister Usainu Dabo said Gambia will continue to regain its lost glory in the international front after 22 years of isolation.
The Gambia on the international front is determined to re-engage institutions and other international organizations. It should be recalled that 22 years ago, isolationist foreign policy did nothing but damage the Gambia's image on the world stage. As we restore democracy, good governance and respect for rule of law, our goal is to mend those broken fences, forge new ones, and remain relevant in all international platforms that we are a party to.
The reception was entertained by students of St. Joseph Senior Secondary School choir group, singing melodious songs that celebrated the day. For GRTS News, I am Seni MK Maren.
And let's head to LRR because members of the various oversight committees of the National Assembly are continuing their meeting in Tandaba camp in the Lower River region. And the sessions focus on oversight functions. And Louis Mende reports that Wednesday's session took the deputies through the public financial management in government, economic analysis techniques, among a host of other topics.
One of the oversight functions of the National Assembly is to scrutinize before approving national budgets to affirm their responsiveness to the developmental needs of the citizenry. To be able to do that effectively, lawmakers need to understand what the budget often encompasses. Hence this lecture on the subject by Mohamed Lamin Ba, the Accountant General at the Ministry of Finance. His presentation was on public financial management, which touches on the PFM cycle in government from budget execution and to financial statements, reporting and accountability.
I think as the Oversight Committee, it is very important that they know what we are doing, how we are doing it, and why we are doing it that way. I think that is very important because then that reduces some kind of what we call expectation gap.
Mr. Ba's presentation also touched on the new reforms, especially the modernization of the public financial management, including the modernization of the integrated financial management information systems.
Them to understand the cycle, planning, that the sectors are responsible for their plans, for their annual plans, and they are the ones that are responsible for their budget. They are the ones that determine, that decide what they want to budget on, their priorities, and these are what they submit to the Ministry of Finance for incorporation into the national budget. And whatever negotiations and discussions that happen between them and the Ministry of Finance is based on their sector priorities, on their sector plans, and what they have submitted for inclusion in the budget.
If we do not know anything about the budget, if we do not know what the budget is all about, it will be very difficult for us to be able to scrutinize it very well as it should be, so that we make a proper judgment on the budget.
Day 3 of the pre-session seminar for oversight committees of the National Assembly also witnessed a presentation on economic analysis techniques, important in understanding the state of economy and the sustainability of investment projects. Subject matter specialist Dr. David Darrell Tommy provided the tutorial.
Culture is the backbone of our nation. Attending such a training on how to have a sustainable projects in the Gambia is key. So you have a lot of agricultural projects. NEMA, now recently they launched another one called CHOSO. So we want to see that these projects are really designed in a way that it suits the Gambian people.
And halfway into this training, the Speaker of the House shares her impression.
I am hopeful but pretty sure that National Assembly members have been able to grasp all the issues, well, if not all, but most of the issues so far with regards to the rationale why we are here, and that is to strengthen our understanding of our oversight functions as National Assembly members.
Here in Tandaba Camp, the strengthening of oversight functions for the oversight committees of the National Assembly continues. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
And next to the ongoing trial against the former NIA 9, High Court Judge Justice Kumbasila Kamara has overruled a defense objection to a new amended bill of indictments filed by the Special State Prosecutor Antuman Gay. Defense lawyers oppose the freshly revised charges preferred against the former intelligence chiefs accused of torturing and killing late political activist and UDP strongman Solo Sandeng in 2016. This morning, lawyers argued that the new information is incompetent as it is signed by the new special prosecutor Antuman Gay, who later contended that he is qualified to pen his signature on the indictment sheet as the appointed prosecutor of the state. The High Court will consequently rule in his favor, and the ruling paves the way for plea taking on the new amended charges, which follows previous indictments denied by the accused persons who were formally charged with 12 counts of murder, conspiracy to murder, torture causing actual bodily harm, and forgery. and the case continues tomorrow for plea taking. And elsewhere, human rights defenders and activists from Africa region are in Banjul for a 3-day capacity building forum on regional and international human rights producers. And the event is jointly organized by the Africa Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies and the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. GRTS's Babukar Kamara has details of the event.
It is a capacity building forum for human rights actors within the Africa sub-region. A commitment activists are not vowing to relent on in defending fundamental human rights principles that has been grossly violated over the years.
This training aimed at sharpening knowledge and skills on the procedures for the promotion and protection of human rights in Africa. It will equip us with the knowledge and skills to lobby our governments to domesticate and implement their commitments while assisting participants to frame a strategy as they seek redress for violations of human rights.
The 3-day event has not only the aim to strengthen capacity of activists, but to solidify their position to hold governments accountable to their people.
We have been told that every human being is born equal in dignity and rights for 70 years. But I think we are far from achieving that common standard of achievement.
I mean, there are major challenges. Although we know very well that the obligation to promote and respect and fulfill the human rights relies on the states and on the governments as the executive, we know there are many challenges also from their side to fulfill those obligations.
In the coming days, participants are expected to critically look into both local and international human rights mechanisms that sets to liberate people from governments and regimes that uses forms of impunity to control the views of society. Babukar Kamara, GRTS.
And the Sky Bank has recently opened its second branch located at Westfield set for business. And the gathering was graced by the head of Sky Bank and the customers. And Sujak reports.
Sky Bank has been known for its successful banking in the Gambia, an institution bent on offering premium financial services to the Gambian populace. The bank headquarters at the Caraba Avenue is now moving to expand its reach across city with a new branch at Westfield. Sky Bank officials say it is a major bid to come closer to its local customers, making bank transactions much easier. The logo expanding your world firmly clears all doubts as to the bank's commitment to ensuring that customers access financial services. New products are being quickly rolled out. The list here includes Sky Select, Sky Salary, Sky Rainbow, Sky Moneywise, bills for collection, and Fleet Cash aimed at making access to money easy and effortless.
This branch is a state-of-the-art branch. With this branch, Sky Bank is making a statement in Gambia that we are a bank to reckon with. With this bank, we are bringing banking services closer to our customers.
Managing Director Doyin describes Sky Bank as a bank with standards that is ready for more fruitful business. He added that Sky Bank offers services that will satisfy every customer banking with them.
We encourage all our customers to make use of this branch. We also want to tell the community that we are here and we want them to come and do business with us. We have very good products. We have Sky Select, we have Sky Wise. We have products that will make life easier for our clients.
Branch Service Manager Senabu highlighted how institution stands to bring and carve an enormous difference in the banking sector.
We're looking forward to making good business, potential business, with all our customers as well as the potential customers.
Sky Bank is ready for business as its customers are greatly optimistic about the bank's new products and banking services, which officials say are not merely strategies to win the trust of potential customers, but essential provisions that will enhance access and financial assurance. Ansu Jack reporting for GRTS News.
And we'll take a quick break, but when we return, we will have updates on the ongoing zonal championship and how a GRTS film crew got caught up in a melee at the Father God Sports Complex. Stay tuned.
Secured the coastal Imagine your staff not having to worry about having credit when they need to make an important work-related call. Well, QCell's Closed User Group service gives you and them that peace of mind. QCell's Closed User Group CUG is an affordable and efficient way for businesses and organizations to reduce their communications costs whilst increasing efficiency at the same time. Whether your business is small, medium, or large, the QCell's Closed User Group service has different packages to suit your budget and gives you a choice of plans that can include a QCell SIM card and Samsung mobile phones, or just a SIM card. You can get the QCell CUG service for as low as $100 a month per user for unlimited calls within your closed user group. Call our CUG sales team today on 333-3127. That's 333-3127, and they will visit your office to highlight the great range of plans and mobiles. QCell's Closed User Group, making communications easier. QCell, Sunyu SIM, Sunyu Boss. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and let's take a look at sports news. Where the zonal championship has reached the business end of the tournament, with the first two semi-finalists enjoying good wins over their rivals. High-flying Gunjur defeated Kumba East by 3-0 in Brikama, and in the other game, an eternal rival Serekunda East and Bakau faced off in an ill-tempered clash at the Father Golf Sports Complex, and Muru S. Jallo rounds up our coverage of the quarterfinals in Brikama.
The Super Nawetan flavor was at its best as defending champions Gunjur continued their impressive run in the tournament with a convincing 3-0 win against Combo East. A brace from Malan Jassi and a late strike by Yusufa James secured the Coastal Boys from South Combo a place in the semi-finals of the 2017 Zonal Championship. Fans of the two teams electrified the atmosphere inside the Boxbar Mini Stadium in what was the first meeting between these two sides in the Super Nawetan. Many had predicted an easy win for the reigning champions Gunjur, but the newcomers from Combo East were out to cause an upset. The exciting contest soon sparked into life when Gunjur took the lead in the 28th minute. Lamin Jassi blasted home a powerful free kick from the edge of the box, which ripped apart the wall into the back of the net. That goal dampened the spirit of the debutants, and henceforth the game became a one-sided affair. Gunjur shortly doubled their lead after the half-time break from a brilliant team goal. The first was an individual effort, but the second was a magnificent team effort. Malan Jassi started the move inside his own half before he finished off the move brilliantly with a stunning strike. Let's have another look at that goal. That's an absolute beauty and certainly my goal of the tournament contender. Yusfa Jame rounded up the scores to 3-0 with the last kick of the game, and Gunjur are into the semi-finals.
It's not a surprise one because I know we are going to win. This year our motto is Operation Back to Back. We will make sure we do that, We want to set a record because last year is our first time to win. And then we say we break record. What kind of record we have to break? The only thing is, there is no team who make back-to-back, so we want to make back-to-back.
The Gunjur fans are now calling it back-to-back.
The team is very strong, and in terms of
well, it remains to be seen if they can achieve that. But with their current form, they are the team to beat, and they are flying high.
They have secured a very, very good win, and they are on course to retain their title. This is an accomplished performance from an accomplished side, and the performance here was definitely magnificent. But this particular game will be remembered by the goals that have been scored here, especially the second goal, which will certainly be a goal of the tournament contender.
In the day's other semi-final, it was quite the opposite after violence broke out at the end of the game. After Serekunda East beat Baka 1-0 at the Manjai Mini Stadium. But the game was overshadowed by a serious crowd trouble at the end of the game after Bakau fans invaded the pitch, attacking the referees, players, and the press, with stones being thrown into the crowd. Some were reported to have sustained injuries. Among those caught up in the incident is our cameraman, who was attacked and has to be rescued by the police intervention personnel, despite having nothing to do with the game or the violence either. There was also serious vandalism of the mini stadium. The actions of the Bakau fans is totally unacceptable and has no place in our football. Violence has been a common problem in Super Nawetan, and it is time drastic measures are taken against the culprits. The task now lies with the Super Nawetan Organizing Committee to make a ruling on the matter. But in the meantime, Gunjur and Serekunda East are through to the semi-finals. Mohamed Jalo, GRTS Sports.
And in today's game, surprise side BEM beat Combo Giants Brikama by a lone goal at the West Park, and they will be joined in the semi-finals by Commonwealth outfit Sukuta, who made it through after a hard 4-2-1 win over Banjul at the East Park. And Sukuta and BEM joined defending champions Gunjur and Serekunda in the final four. And that takes us to another break, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the international stories. Don't go away. Welcome back, and tensions are high across Kenya ahead of the repeat presidential election scheduled for Thursday. Let's get you more details now on the last-minute drama in the capital Nairobi on the eve of the vote. CGTN's Jane Kio has the story.
Kenya plunged deeper into political uncertainty on Wednesday. Opposition leader Raila Odinga again called on his supporters to boycott Thursday's vote.